Hey guys, attorney Jerry Parisi here, and today I'm going to tell you how to answer a debt collection lawsuit in the state of Georgia. We're going to talk about 6 things. What is the deadline to file your answer? How long do you have? Second, how do you actually file it? What are the technical steps you got to do? Third, what do you want to say in your answer? 4, what do you want to avoid saying in your answer? 5, what defenses might you have and where can you find them? And 6, do you have a counterclaim and how do you add that in your answer? So let's jump right in. Really easy. The deadline to file your answer is 30 days from the date the lawsuit is served. 30 days, guys. Don't wait till the last minute to file your answer. Get it drafted, do your research, make sure it's how you want it, and file it well in advance of the 30-day deadline. Don't wait. Number 2, how do you actually file it? Like, what are the technical steps? Guys, there are 159 counties in the state of Georgia. I think that's the second most among states in the country as far as counties go. So every county has their own clerk of court. Every county has multiple courts like magistrate court, state court, superior court. Sometimes they share them. It gets a little complicated, but there are a lot of counties and a lot of courts. And every one of them has a different filing system. Every one of them uses a different online filing. Well, there's 2 different online filing systems in Georgia. Not sure which one your county uses. So best advice is to call the clerk of court, call them up and ask them questions. Ask them how they want the answer filed. Sometimes they'll let you come and file it in person at the courthouse, at the clerk's office. Sometimes you got to file it online. So basically, best advice, call the county clerk of court, and they are almost always, guys, they are super helpful. They're super informative, and they're very nice. I call them almost on a daily basis for silly questions I have that I should probably know the answer to, and they're always nice, and they always help me. So don't hesitate to give them a call. Third, what do you want to say in your answer? Really important, guys. Only respond to the allegations in the lawsuit. And here's how you respond to them, each allegation. You want to admit the allegation, deny the allegation, or state that you're without sufficient information to either admit or deny the allegation. One of the 3, guys. So admit, deny, or defendant is without information, without knowledge sufficient to admit or deny. Without sufficient information to either admit or deny. Sorry about that. It's a mouthful. What do you want to avoid saying? Why do I say those are the only 3 acceptable answers? Because you don't want to give excuses as to why you defaulted on the credit card debt, why you defaulted on the account, why you couldn't pay back the debt. You don't want to say, hey, the creditor, I tried to work with them, but they wouldn't give me a reasonable payment plan, and that's why they filed this lawsuit. Avoid all excuses and all kind of background information like that. If it's not responding directly to an allegation like admit or deny, then guys, don't put that in there. The court cannot consider, those excuses. They're going to rule on the law and the facts, and you just want to answer the allegations. You don't want to put an excuse in there. But you also want to look and see if you've got any defenses. This is number 5. Yeah. Do you have a defense to the lawsuit? So do you have any affirmative defenses? And these are things that you have to include in your answer or else you'll lose them. So go to OCGA 9-11-8C. C as in Charlie. And that stands for Official Code of Georgia Annotated 9-11-8 Charlie. That's the statute that talks about what are the affirmative defenses in Georgia. Things like the statute of limitations. If that's in play, if you think that might be that statute of limitations may have run in your case, then you want to include that in your answer for sure. Don't forget to include it. There's other things in there, so just look that up and see if any of those apply. If you think they might apply, put it in your answer, guys. Another statute to look at is OCGA 9-11-12. There's some more defenses in there. Look at that, see if you think any of those apply. If you think it might, put it in your answer. Can't stress that enough. Next, finally, see if you've got a counterclaim. Do some research on your own. Look up the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. It's a federal law that gives you as the consumer protections against debt collectors. See if anything like that applies to you. Now, there's a lot of nuance there, so they only apply if it's a debt collector. So like the original creditor, Bank of America, if they're suing you for credit card debt, it doesn't apply to them. So the FDCPA doesn't apply, so you don't have a good counterclaim against Bank of America. It applies to debt collectors like Midland Funding. So if you've been sued by a debt collector, and you can go to my website and check out what is a debt collector, what is a debt buyer. FDCPA, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, applies to debt collectors, debt buyers. So look that up and see if that applies to your case. Another good one is the Georgia Fair Business Practices Act. You want to look that up, do some research, and see if any of those protections apply to your case. And if so, you want to include them. And why do I say include a counterclaim if you can? If you've got a solid counterclaim, guys, this is the best way to get your debt collection case resolved. Oftentimes, if you've got a solid counterclaim, a real one that will could potentially win, the plaintiff will oftentimes, their attorney will often call you up and say, hey, we'll enter into a mutual dismissal. You dismiss your claims, I'll dismiss my claims, and we'll both walk away and nobody owes the other person a dime. And that's a great way to just get your case done. You don't owe the money back anymore. They'll agree to dismiss the case. So those are the 6 things I wanted to talk about: how to answer a debt collection lawsuit in Georgia. 30-day deadline to file your answer. Don't miss it. How do you file it? Call the court clerk if you have any questions. Admit an allegation, deny an allegation, or state that you're without sufficient information to admit or deny is number 3. Number 4, look up some defenses. See if you got anything that would apply to your case. And then 6, look up and see if you got any counterclaims, FDCPA or Georgia Fair Business Practices Act. There's a bunch of other consumer protection laws out there, Truth in Lending Act, Fair Billing Act, stuff like that. Just do some research. If you have any questions, guys, if you need an attorney's help, give me a call, 404-594-5130, or check out my website, parisifirm.com, for more blog posts and how to do things. And like I said, if you have any questions, give me a call.